សមាជិកគណៈបក្សសង្គ្រោះជាតិប្រាជ្ញាបញ្ញាសាមគ្គីក្រុមនានាសង្គ្រោះបម្រើការពារកម្ពុជាខ្មែរត្រឹមរកគ្នាទាមទារសិទ្ធិសេរីឯករាជ្យបូរណភាពអធិបតេយ្យខ្មែរប្រុសស្រីបដូរផ្ដាច់ថែរក្សាមិនឲ្យបរទេសឈ្លានពានមកត្រួតត្រាសម្បត្តិដូនតាធនធានជាតិខ្មែរ
Good evening, welcome, and thank you for joining our show today. This is Khmer Youth Voices for Justice. This show is part of the CNRP America live TV show. My name is Linda, and I will be hosting the show today. Today is Tuesday, March 9, 2021. Our topic for this evening is International Women's Day. We will focus on hope, leadership, basically perseverance, hope, and leadership. Before we start, please help to support our petitions at change.org. Ending impunity for justice in Cambodia. Your support is really important in collecting more than 500,000 signatures. Together we fight to end impunity. Together we will find justice for victims of backstage killing in Cambodia. Please help to support our petitions at change.org. Please watch a short video describing our petitions and steps we need to take to end impunity for justice in Cambodia. Thank you.
តើយុត្តិធម៌ឬនីតិរដ្ឋភាព
Between 1975 and 1979, the green rice fields of Cambodia became the killing fields of Cambodia. Over 2 million lives were lost, including the lives of my own parents and many of my relatives. The Khmer Rouge wanted a society that is equal according to them. We still live and we are haunted with the legacy of the Khmer Rouge, which is the culture of impunity that continues to exist in Cambodia today. It is for this reason that we have started a campaign, worldwide campaign, a campaign to end impunity in Cambodia by seeking justice for cases, for the executions, for the killings that are organized, that are backed by the state. Among those cases of state-backed killings are the killings of Chivichir, a very famous trade union leader, Bisep Pilaka, a ballet dancer, of Kemley, an independent analyst, of Chutvuti, a well-known environmentalist, of Venerable Sun Bunthun, who was advocating for the monks to have the right to vote, including workers who demanded fair wages. The campaign will also advocate for governments that are members of the United Nations to put pressure on the government of Cambodia to conduct independent investigations by using universal tools such as the UN Protocol for Independent Investigation. The campaign will also advocate for governments that believe and want to protect universal human rights to impose sanctions on the leaders of the government of Cambodia who are implicated in these state-backed extrajudicial killings. We ask you to be with us, to support us, to be part of a campaign to end the culture of impunity in Cambodia and to find justice for those who have been waiting for justice for their loved ones killed by the state. There cannot be real peace unless there is justice. There cannot be justice unless there is independent investigation. And then take those cases to an independent justice system. Join us by signing on this petition. Thank you.
យើងរួមគ្នាបញ្ចប់នីតិរដ្ឋភាពដើម្បីយុត្តិធម៌នៅកម្ពុជា
Please help to support our petition at change.org. I just checked, we almost at 61,000. Please, your support is very important with these petitions. Please help to support, help to share, and help to sign the petitions at change.org. Thank you. I would like to welcome my three wonderful guests for tonight. Let me bring them one at a time. I have my brand new guest. He is so kind to be here today. Let me add him in.
Hello, and hello to everybody.
Thank you, his name is Panhavaro, and he is the CNRP America supporter. Would you like to tell our audience a little bit about yourself, where you at right now, and what you like to do during your spare time?
Hello to everybody. My name is Panhavaro. I live in Long Beach in Southern California. I just like to support CNRP for the right, human right, justice, and development for the country. But I see the party was threatened by the CPP, so it's not right. It's also they straight to the woman. Now today is a Woman Day that I coming up to say something about the human rights supposed to be get for the women all over around the world, and especially for the women that was held or not give justice to the women in Cambodia while coming out today. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for being here. We love having you here today. Our next guest, let me add her on. Her name is Sorina. She is the CNRP America General Secretary in Ohio, and she is also an advisor to CNRP America Women Affairs.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for having me, Linda.
How are you?
I am good. It's been a long week. It is only Tuesday.
Thank you. I'm good. I'm glad you're here, and you want to share a little bit about yourself, what you like to do during, when you're not here with me.
So in my spare time before COVID hit, it was mostly volunteering, volunteering for CNRPA, working with Women's Affair, and also with CNRPA Ohio. So a lot of my spare time went to there. Now with COVID, it's been a challenging year and still is. So it's been it's a lot of work right now. So stress at work and everything else. So I love to cook. I enjoy volunteering, doing stuff with, with my friends, and working with CNRPA. Thank you.
Thank you, Bong, and thank you for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
My next guest, his name is Sammady. He is the youth president of CNRP America in Los Angeles, California. And welcome, Sammady.
How are you today?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay, tell our audience a little bit about yourself, something that we don't know.
I've been here often. Everyone probably know my name already, but My name is Sammady, and currently I am in college, and I like to keep up with the political event in Cambodia to see what is our hope for our country to experience a genuine democracy under the Hun Sen regime.
Thank you, Sammady, and thank you for being here. Let me add everyone back on. Thank you, everyone, for being here today. Our topic this evening is yesterday we celebrated the 110 years of International Women's Day. So our focus will be perseverance, hope, and leadership. As we celebrate 110 years of International Women's Day with the world, we like to acknowledge the sacrifice all women made before us, so that we here to enjoy the progress today. In honor of International Women's Day, we will personally discuss about the superwoman in our life and who made it possible for us to stand here today. We will also discuss the challenge faces by Cambodian women in Cambodia. Last, we will discuss and encourage young women to step up to the plate and take leadership responsibility. So let me, since we talking about International Women's Day, we should explain what it is. Let me start by Natbong Sorina. Can you help to explain what is International Women's Day?
So International Women's Day is on March 8th. It's a global day celebrating the social, economic, cultural, and political achievements of women. The day also marked call to action for accelerating gender parity. No one government, NGO, charity, or corporation, academic institution, women's network, or media hubs is solely responsible for International Women's Day.
Thank you, Bong. Let me have Sammady to add to that. Sammady, can you add to the topic of basically introduce a little bit what is International Women's Day mean to you?
Well, in my opinion, I believe International Women's Day is everyone should be treated equally, because we was born equal, just like in politics, where people who have opposing opinion isn't considered as equal to people who have power, like in Cambodia. So it's a sign of like rebellion, you can say, to fight for the right and equal right of everyone. So yes, that's what I believe National Women's Day is. And on a personal perspective, of course, it's a day to be thankful to your loved one, like my mom, my grandma, and stuff like that. So that is what International Women's Days mean to me.
Thank you, Sammady. Let me add Panya. Panya, look, what does International Women's Day mean to you? What does it mean? Can you help to explain to our audience?
Yes. Before, when you go back to the Muslim communities, they usually look down the lady. They don't want lady to lead or have opinion, or the country that they think that the lady is the bad one or something like that. Even now, they don't want the lady to drive in a Muslim country, and this is the worst point. But around the world, they start develop, and they start to give the value to the lady, so they can find out the lady, especially by the young girl that they in school. They find out that the girl is start more educate, like best educate score, the high score than the boy. So, the balance of that one, they try to give the right to the lady, that they find out that the lady can lead better than the man. Even though you can see the baby that was born, the lady treat better than the man, even though the man that is a father So they give the value to the lady. So they make up the day, Woman Day, like yesterday. That is the best one. We should follow and observe, and more and more. They want the lady to lead, to be a leader for better life, live, and around the world. That's why I think that the lady Day is the best that United Nations they occurs for us to obey. Look at that, the country like Cambodian, they look down on the lady, they make their hurt, they arrest them. Even the Friday lady come out to demand for the freedom of their husband was opposed or straightened, around there. It looked bad to the international. That's why the Cambodian country get score less and less of democracy, especially for the lady. That's what I want to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Now let get personal. Let get personal. Bong Sorina, can you share a woman in your life who you would like to recognize doing, basically doing International Women Days, the woman that who made who you are, basically the person, the woman that your role model. Can you share someone like that with our audience?
Well, I have to mention my mom first. Most of all, she gave me life, but she also, um, you know, taught me to be perseverance, to have determination, to go and believe and get what you want in life. But also to work hard, to be honest. You have to be working very hard, study, get education. So it's all embedded of how she taught me to become the woman I am. But also, my second role model is Musa who is, she is very outspoken, respected Cambodian politician who also had dedicated her life to fighting for women's rights and democracy in Southeast Asia. So as a member of a minister before CNRP dissolved, she campaigned against child abuse, marital rape, violence against women, human rights trafficking, and the exploitation of female workers. She also helped draft the country's law against domestic violence and negotiate an international agreement with Thailand to curtail human trafficking in Asia, in Southeastern Asia. So she also served for 6 years before finally stepping down in response to the rampant corruption pervades in Cambodian politics and the Hun Sen regime. So she has received many awards for her human rights and work, including a 2005 Vital Voice Global Leadership Award, and also in 2010, People's Choice Human Rights Award, the 2009 Eleanor Roosevelt Award for Leadership in Human Rights, and was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize in 2005 for her effort to stop the sex trafficking trade. So this is a role model that women around the world should idolize and look up to her of what she has become and what she stands for, fighting, women to have equality, women's to have a seat in the parliament, respect humans. Every voice should be heard and be counted. So this is somebody that in Cambodian that we need to have at our forefront. And we're just so fortunate that she is a member, vice president of CNRP. So I am, glad that I have met her. I have worked with her. And she has my respect. Thank you.
Thank you, Bong, and I have to agree with you on that one. Thank you, Bong, for sharing your mom with us and also share about Her Excellency Musakur. Let me add Sammady in. Sammady, who would you like to mention on this day?
So whenever someone asks me who's my inspiration is, I always tell them that it's my mom
Sammady,
and
let me cut you off a little bit. Sammady, you need
what
to move up a little bit because you. I'm not sure you move up, you move down.
so
Because your virtual background is
really
okay. Yeah, your virtual background is cutting your body. You only see your neck.
try my yeah got
Okay, yeah. Okay, stay there. Yeah, stay there. Stay there. Okay, go ahead.
So whenever someone asks me who's my inspiration is, I always tell them that it's my mom and my grandmother because they are the source of my strength from the time I was born. They always push me to do good in life and finish college and find my dream jobs. My mom and my grandmother, like they both love me unconditionally, and they always forgive me for all my mistake. And ever since I was a baby, especially my grandmother, she was the one taking care of me um, without any complaint. Then never asked money from me, so she doesn't want anything in return. She just want me to be well. And my grandmother, she worked as a tailor. We have when I was small, she had like a tailor shop with my grandfather. But in our home, she can be whatever she need to be. A doctor when I'm sick, a chef that always cook for me. She even act as a police to protect me, and a teacher to teach me. So I remember how she always tried her best to make sure I was walking down the right directions because in Cambodia, as you know, if they're not strict on you, if your grandma doesn't care about you, most kids will go to the wrong directions by people around them doing drugs, hanging out with wrong friends, so they end up robbing people, end up in jail. So I would like to thank my grandma and also my mom. Yeah, so that's all I have. Yeah, thank
Great
you.
answer, Sammady.
Uh-huh.
You saved today. Okay. Let me add Panya, and so that way he can explain you. He can let us know who's the woman in his life that he would like to recognize today. You mute let me see.
Thank you. That especially is my wife, the lady that I respect, and then second one is my daughter. That is, she is the good in the school. In high school, she get the the best, the highest honor score in the school. And my role model is also not much different from our guest that mentioned about that. But I want to mention about Aung San Suu Kyi. Yeah, recently that she is the best leader of Myanmar. That is the best one that around the world just looking at her that the dictator regime arrest her. That is the best one that just her one voice that is coming out from the jail, from the hell place. Yeah, um, get up for people because it's time for the make it down of the dictatorship. They try to kill the democracy of the Myanmar. That is the role model for me, and the other young lady that young girl that was shot by the soldier. That is so sad for me that to see, and also Musakur. That is I like her for the CNRP leader. That is so good. That is uh, see all the talk to the world about the Cambodian country, about development of the human rights that is worse and worse, and it's not developed better, but it's worse. That is my model that I like, and I want to tell my daughter to learn about the world, that they they try to make the girl, the lady is bad. So I want her to learn something about the world, about human rights, about the law, social, to help all those people that just they make them bad, help them get up for help themselves in a poor country like Cambodia. No one can help as long as we help each other to defeat the dictatorship in Cambodia. That is what I want to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Look, let me share my experience. I am grateful for my mom, who's always there for us and always expect us to do our best. And basically, no is not an answer. She expects us to basically put our feet forward and do our best. And that's what my mom believe in, and I carry that with me when it comes to teaching my daughter, because that's important. That as a woman, you shouldn't be scared. You shouldn't be afraid to do your best and to do what you feel is right. So that's one of the person that always encourage my sister and I, and also as a result, I encourage my daughter, who's and basically encouraged to give your best no matter what you do, and never accept no as an answer. And as a woman, I don't have a brother, I have a sister, and as a woman, she expects us to basically do everything that a man can do and even better. So that's what my mom expects us to do, and that's what we did. We give our all, and whatever we do, it's our best. So shout out to mom today. So I'm safe today.
Yeah. That's good.
Thank you. Let me put our guest back on. Thank you, everybody, for answer that question. Is very personal. I know that, and also it's very personal to talk about our family. Our next question is: we are celebrating 110 years. Basically, we are counting. And why is it important that we continue to celebrate International Women's Day? Why is it that we don't celebrate Men's Day? What is the reason why we celebrate as a country, as a nation, or as the world is counting, and we are at 110 right now? Bong, Sorina, would you like to go first?
Okay. So we're celebrating International Women's Day is a global holiday celebrated annually on March 8th to commemorate the cultural, political, and social economic achievements of women. It is also a focal point in the women's rights movement, bringing attention to issues such as gender equality, reproductive rights, and violence against women. So all of this is important for as a woman. It's harder for us to prove ourselves that we are worthy. Our opinions counts. Our ideas that we can do a man's job too. So that is why it's harder for women to have to prove themselves to that they do deserve to be in a political arena or in in a government or in a kind of organization, that they have to work harder to prove themselves versus men. It's just more common to them. They don't have to prove themselves. As a woman, it feels like any kind of an upper management role or anything, women has to succeed and prove themselves more than men. Thank you.
Thank you, Bong, Sorina. Let me add Sammady back on. Sammady, would you like to help us understand why is it important that we continue to celebrate International Women's Day?
Well, the reason is, as you know, the common stereotype that a woman place is in the home has largely determined the way that women has expressed themselves. And 100 years later, the issues that we need to focus on, even though in the U.S. We went past 18th and 19th century, where women's supposed to stay home during that time. That's what men believe. But around the world, the issue still exists. We still see domestic violence, rape, especially in Cambodia, sexual abuse, and so on. And as you can see, women are treated unfairly in Cambodia under Hun Sen regime. We can see that young kid basically lying about their age to work at a bar, and especially in say Hanoutville, you see the Chinese coming in, they pay them a lot of money for kid like teenage girls to work at the casino because they are young, and sometimes the Chinese people just treat them unfairly. That they came in, as you know, most Chinese that came to Sihanoukville is most of them is mafia and gangsters, and they're trying to run Shanghai #2 in Cambodia. So I believe 100 years later, we still need to remind people that women is still treated unfairly in the other part of the world, especially in our country, Cambodia.
Thank you, Sammady. So it's important that we keep reminding the world what is important, what is women's right.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Look, can you help to let us know why after 110 years, why is it important that we continue on and still celebrate International Women's Day?
Yeah, I always look at human rights and all the country around the world. Mostly they give valuable to a woman is less. That's why the United Nations they want raise up the woman rights. So they make that day for everybody to respect the woman. That if the world without women, what happened? That the woman is the number one that can help all any kid to live, any family to live, any family to unite it. If no lady in the room in the house, that is the bad one for the world or for the family. It's especially the food that mostly the men don't want to cook or food in the house for the family. The lady do anything, even clothes, the laundry or something like that. Yeah, I give value to the woman that I have a right that you can manage all the living costs. I have a duty to make money, but I give them the right for the woman. I give the respect to my right to manage all the money for family to live good. So that is this is small of my family, but around the world, and I think it's the same. That's why they make the woman rights for the everybody to be equal and respect. And we hope that women will be better for living than look down, than harass. It's like Cambodian is the worst one that look down, and then woman traffic or something like that. I heard, and then some lady that from China, she was married and sell her over there like a slave, sexual slave over there. That is heard a bad voice for us to have a woman to raise. So everybody to respect the woman. The world have to do that too. Even your family have to respect. So Woman Day is the best day for us. Don't forget that. Don't look down. Don't hurt. Don't sell the woman like a fish or something in the market. Okay, that's it.
Thank you. So basically, it's a reminder to respect the woman in your life, and the woman, basically, especially the woman at home who cook and help you out every day. So it's a reminder to be thankful. Thank you.
When you sick, the woman is the, can give you the medicine or something. At least for hot water that you need.
Thank you. Let me add all the guests back on. Let me have Sammady go first. Basically, since 2017, increase in violence against women activists and basically women from opposition supporter in Cambodia, which is the CNRP supporter, women right defender, peaceful demonstrator, and basically labor activists, how having continue to face harassment and intimidations in Cambodia. My question is, looking at Cambodia, has there been any improvement in the treatment of women in the last 40 years? Somebody would like to start on our conversation.
Well, in my opinion, I believe nothing has changed because, as you can see now, 40 years ago there's no Facebook, but now there's Facebook. We can keep in touch with things that happening in Cambodia. We can see domestic violence. We see men getting drunk and beating up their wife, and people posting on Facebook for us to see. And one interesting is that I look at the UN report, and 1 in 5 women ages from 15 to 49 in Cambodia receive or experience physical violence. Migrant workers and sex workers, especially vulnerable to gender-based violence. So I believe all of this is due to the government unable to make a proper plan because they only care about their party holding power for another 10 years, and they have violated human right, even women's right. You can see factory workers, they still isn't being treated fairly. Most factory workers in Cambodia is women, 70-80% of them. The minimum wage is still not enough to pay for rent and so on. So I believe nothing has changed. And another perspective, we can see that Cambodia corruption caused poverty, and most girls' education in the countryside, they do not receive any educations because the government could not afford to spend money to build school in the countryside for women, especially girls, to go to school. And as you can see, most girls, due to poverty, they have to come to the capital city of Phnom Penh to find job. And most of the time, the only jobs that don't require a lot of knowledge and have higher paying is at the bar or at the club. So those involve into sexual trafficking and raping. So women right in Cambodia hasn't been improving. If anything, it is worse because you see every corners in Cambodia is opening with club and bars, especially around my house in Cambodia. There's many of them. So it hasn't been improving due to the government unable to adapt any plan. Thank you.
Thank you, Sammady. The mini picture that I show is basically it's forced eviction and land grabbing by military acting on behalf of the powerful business elite. It's a major problem. So this little lady is holding a sign talking about her land, talking basically land grabbing, and that is one of the basically in Cambodia that is a development. Basically the word is development, and when it's development, many people are crying, and because it's grabbing their land, basically land grabbing. Well, thank you, Sammady. Let me have Netbong Sorina. Can you help to elaborate on looking at Cambodia? Has there been any improvement on the treatment of women for the last 40 years? When I'm talking about 40 years, I'm doing the basically Hun Sen regime after Khmer rule.
In my opinion, no, due to the fact that Hun Sen government has no desire to enforce women's right. It is not an agenda to empower women that could potentially threaten his power over the people. Women are sold to brothel. They are treated as a piece of meat. They are not respected. In order, because we have no education in Cambodia, so the only to make ends meet, they end up, like Sammady said, in bars and a lot of it into brothel that their family sold them for, so they could have money and supporting their brothers, siblings, or their parents. It is sad to see that a government that has the AIDS, that a country can be very prosperous, but his government decide not to use the aids that is provided by other international countries to use to benefit for the people, but only in his own pocket and his own family. Thank you.
Thank you, Bong. Let me put Panya so that way he can help elaborate a little bit. Do you see any improvement for the last 40 years in Cambodia when it's come to the treatment of women?
It is worse and worse. It's not improvement at all in Cambodia, especially under Hun Sen regime. That we can see that UN give the score less and less for the human rights in Cambodia. You can see that, and even though you can see the social media like Facebook or something, you can see that they do worse on the treat no good, no equal, like somebody mentioned about that. Was that I want to say that the no market for the farmer, no job for the people, and the give the not equal for the education educate person that get finish school, especially no market for them, no job for them to work for money to living a better life. He always said that good life, improve living system in Cambodian people living good, more than poverty of the line, that like that. But especially now when we look exactly, nothing at all. Look at that. Recently, the European Union, they take out the EBA. American almost take out the GSP, and then those regime is nothing solve the problem that they will happen to Cambodian people now. It means that the job, the market that they take more tax, and the job go to Cambodian people, it will be less and less. The regime is not care. So that what is worse and worse on that, especially the when you watch in the on the job place, the manufacturer, about 90% is the woman. But when the EBA was take out, just 25% is the worst one, only 20%. But if they take more, like 25% more, it's in 50%, Cambodian is bad and bad. And now, recently, they make the law again about the COVID-19 in Cambodia. It can, you can see that those laws, it hurt to Cambodian people more and more because it's not good law at all. When you go to, they call Chatalesa, is quarantine. Those law is, like kind of corruption already. Because some people like, hey, I have like $500. Can I go out without do a quarantine? Yeah, it's right away. Yeah, you are good. No quarantine. So they take corruption, they take $500 away from that. So people, they don't care about the lie in the COVID-19 recently. That is corruption make a hurt to the community, especially I talking about the women that work on the manufacture. They less they respect bad and they treat bad. It's hard to say about that. So what one thing that I want to say, just correct, make release, and uh, make the solution for the CNRP go back to health in Cambodian quickly for resolve the problem, you know, from the bad to from the worse to better for the Cambodian people, especially the women. They need to feed their family anywhere in the country. Okay.
Thank you. Yes, it is basically for the last basically the last 4 years in 2017 since the dissolve of CNRP party, it's increased violent against women, especially Friday women,
Yeah.
especially Mother Nature women. Many of them, I believe, at least over 14 women are currently in jail for basically the charges incitement against the government. Um, so the situation is not getting better, but we all are hopeful. We are really hopeful that the situation will be better. On moving to my next questions, I I want my guests to share their hope for the women of Cambodia. What do they hope to see? And let me start by having Bong Sorina help to explain, what is she's hopeful for since there's so many things going on with the women of Cambodia, the suffering, the intimidations, cannot do a peaceful assembly, cannot protest, and their husband is also in jail, who is Friday woman who so they are out there protesting and the government is just suppressing them. um, can you share what's your hope for the Cambodian woman?
My hopes and dream is to have an equal opportunity to make changes to in Cambodia. So equality for all gender. Women can be served in parliament without prejudice. Young ladies can dream and make their dreams a reality. Getting an education is very important because currently we do not offer public education for, you know, all the in elementary school, middle school, high school, like what we have here in the US. So there's no opportunity for people to have a better life, to get a better job. So this is an opportunity that I see that if the government would provide some education, that they can better themselves and empower them to become bright and have a better future for the young ladies, and then for them becoming a role model and a leader in Cambodia.
Thank you, Bong. Yes, education is very important. Sammady, would you like to share your hope for the Cambodian woman in Cambodia?
Well, and I can't hope for anything because currently we are under Hun Sen regime and he doesn't even bother to care for fighting for basic human right, not even to mention women right. So as long as Hun Sen is the leader of Cambodia, there's no change, especially for women. They will be treated unfairly. In Cambodia, there's going to be more casino open where most teenage girls have dropped out of school and work there for to provide for their families. So in order to change, we need a opposition party like the CNRP to fight for basic human right. As you can see, when I was small, when we want something, we always look for Mr. Samransi, because my mom used to be selling clothes in Olympic, the market, and people at Olympic always look for the opposition to fight for the right when they try to increase the rent. So we need the leader like Chivichia Samransi or Madame Musakur to fight for the people in Cambodia, and doesn't want anything involved with corruptions. So that's what we need in Cambodia, a beacon of opposition party. So as long as there's no opposition, as long as they're one-sided party, there's no change in Cambodia.
Thank you, Sammady. Thank you. I did a study regarding, I went searching, and according to World Bank, Peterson Institutions, MSCI World Index, it showed that empowering girls and young women changes our world, and multiple studies have documented that strong female leadership improve the status of family and community, improve employee productivity, and increase corporate profitability. Also, according to Harvard Business Review, company that increased the number of women in executive and board position, like basically up to 30%, saw a 15% increase in profitability. Let me see. I want to move to my next questions. I have been asked these questions, and so regarding basically being a woman and also being a woman of minority. Someone asked me, the question is it important? Is it important to have a seat at a table? How important is it that we as a woman sit at the table, voice our opinion, and also share our opinion? So the question is, should we have a seat on that table? So since Sorina is a woman, I want her to help me answer that question, because I answer that questions. And I truly believe it's important for a woman to have the seat on a table, because we bring experience, we bring a different point of view. So every board meeting, not just every board meeting, any meeting, small or large, we need to be there as a representative, and also we don't just sit there, we also need to speak up. Mom, can you share a little bit of your experience?
Yes. So personally, I do agree that a woman needs to be represented at the seat at the table. Without a woman being represented, we would not get the full benefits of the resolution or the ideas that would be coming out of that meeting, or to execute the resolution. So women opinions are as important as men. Every voice should be heard and accounted for. A woman has, I would say, more of a common sense, that we looked at every aspect, every angle, where men, they're more focused in a straight line. Personally, for a woman, we looked left, right, backwards, front, up, down, in every way that we can. So we have the full throttle of all the pictures that entails what kind of plan, what kind of execution that we need. Personally, for me, being in charge of my department, there's, I have plan A in action, but what if plan A fails? I already have plan B that I already executed. But also in contention with that, I also have plan C, just in case plan B also I run into a roadblocks. So stuff like that. Women are more perseverance. We are dedicated. We try to overcome any obstacle and make it happen in our personal life, in our business life, in every aspect that we go into. So that is my personal opinion. Thank you.
Thank you, Bong. It's my personal opinion. It's my belief that a woman should be at the table and a woman should have a seat at any table, because it's bring perspective and it's very important. And when I teaching or also when I'm actually speaking to somebody, I always try to encourage that, it's important that a woman sit there. It's important that someone sit there so that way they bring their own perspective, and that's basically encourage women to understand that it's their seat. They need to realize that they have a seat, and it's not just any seat. That basically we need to be sitting there. Doesn't and it's we need to be equally and also need to be sitting there. Thank you, Bong. Let me ask Sammady. He's a youth. Let me see what his perspective on how important is it that there's a woman sitting at a table and as eagerly as a man. Sammady.
Well, I believe it is important because, as you said, bringing new perspective into the table. Also, just to keep men in check when they made mistake. In this case, politically, in case man is having a fixed mindset about something. Let's say, for example, creating a law that can affect some people. Women can be there acting as a mother role, like what if this law affecting these type of people and so on. So I believe women should have the same right, just like older youth and younger youth, like how in in CPP, Cambodian People Party, we see that older youth like 60, 70, they still afraid to step down from their position because they love power so much, like their prime minister, and there's lagging of bringing new perspective onto the table. So that's why I think is also important to bring women onto the table, to bring a new perspective, to keep men in check, just in case they have a fixed mindset about a certain issues. Thank you.
Thank you, Sammady, and thank you for sharing that. I'm going to go to my next questions, and it's important for one woman to be having the seat on the table. How do we encourage women? How do we encourage a woman to become a leadership? How do we encourage someone? Because not many people are brave enough to be sitting at that table. So a woman need to have experience. A woman need to be ready to be sitting on that table. Panya, he has a daughter, so I want his opinion. How do he encourage his daughter to be able to step up to the plate and sit on that table one day?
Yeah, thank you. I just tell my daughter that mostly women that in the United States now, that they make more money than the men, because the educate that they finish the school and the job they give more money. That's why the most of the women that make more money than the men, they can do anything that they want. But the one thing that I just want to say about the lady, about the woman make more money, and they don't want to marry. Wow, but that is their choice. The point thing that I just want her to keep in school, finish to get educated the highest, the most that you can, and to get more money. Like them, what they want, they do. What they want is okay. It's because a person by person is different opinion. That's what I want to tell her. And it's like in England, the Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher. Yeah, those times she make to be a Prime Minister of England. She bring up one word that they take trade in the world equally, like free. The word one they say that free trade. So you are poor country, but you have something to sell. You can sell it to England. It free trade. It means that England can sell anything into your country too. It's free. But in the word that free that Margaret Thatcher bring up, she mean that England have anything to sell to the country that poor country, the small country. So the small country can make less anything to. So the trade those time is like free, sound free, but it's not fair. The one that is because of the England is have more big company, they produce anything. But the word that Margaret Thatcher those times she bring up the idea free trade, so make any country can sell in the England, and England can sell their product to the country. Those time make the England is more economy bring up, people is more have job, have money or something like that. That is the lady. I just bring tell my daughter that look at that. The opinion of the lady is good like that. So when you can make to the point of be a leader is the best one that what, and I just want to correct her that hey, do it like that is the best. That's it.
Thank you. Basically, follow, look at a role model and follow, and also telling your daughter to basically look at a role model.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Let me have Sammady. Sammady, I know you don't have a sister, but if you were to have a sister, what would you tell somebody? How do you prepare somebody, or basically just also a youth, how do you prepare somebody to be in a leadership position?
Well, it's kind of hard to speak because I don't have a sister. I would encourage them to look at how the U.S. political system work, how we have Kamala Harris as our first female vice president of the United States, to aim for bigger things in life, shooting for the sun, aim for the moon, basically, because in the U.S., as long as you dream, anything is possible. Conversely, in Cambodia, it's not the same thing. If you would have been born in Cambodia, your future would have been different because Cambodia, there's a thing called glass ceiling, where you could not go past a certain position in your workplace, even though you have a master or doctor degree, because in our society, they view women as a weaker human being. So as male, as the dominant, in the dominant position, both politically and in the workplace. So in the US, there's no such thing as glass ceiling. A woman can also be a CEO. A woman can also be a president and a vice president in the future if they want. So anything is possible to aim bigger as a woman, because there's no such thing as genders in the US when it comes to men and women in politics or economic. Thank you.
Thank you, Sammady. And let me put all our guests back on. It is very important. We touch it on many times in just 1 hour. And education is the key. Basically, keep the girl in school, keep the woman in school, and also change the leadership. We need a leadership that encourage young girl to basically go up to the moon, shoot for the moon. We need a leadership that provide opportunity to people, opportunity to women, and not just opportunity to his inner circle. So representations also matter. Women need to have a leadership. Women need to have somebody to look up to. Like Bong Sorina, she looked up to H.E. Moore, and that's what one of the example, one of the woman in vice president of CNRP, she's very strong. She's very, at the same time, she's very genuine. She's very, as a woman, she's a woman, but she's very strong. So today we touch on many topics. I mean, on one topic, but we touch on not just about Cambodia. We also touch about America, where how we encourage women to be sitting on that table. Also, we encourage how do we encourage someone to become a leader? How do we teach someone to be a leader? And that is my opinion. In order for somebody to be a leader, the person needs to be educated, be in school, so that way she know her position on what she is saying. She have experience to step up to the plate. Also, she need all the women in her life surrounding her as a role model, and that is the most important thing. Does any guest have any last answer to share with our audience? We pretty good?
Yeah.
I think we touch all facets of the strength and the weaknesses of having a woman in every facet of corner of our lives.
Correct. And we need a leadership that appreciate and can see that and encourage the woman to be step up to the plate and sit on that table. CNRP has Her Excellency Moore Sakur sitting on that table, representing, stepping up to the plate. So that's the role model that we all look up to, and that's what the leadership that we need.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Sammady. Thank you, Sorina, and thank you, Panya, for being here today. I appreciate that you sharing your personal insight and experience, and thank you for sharing your personal experience about your mom, Sorina, and thank you, Sammady, for sharing your experience on your mom and your grandma. Panya, thank you for sharing your experience, basically your life about your wife and also your daughter. Everybody is safe today to go home, to be home today. So I'm grateful that you're here today, and we are hopeful. We are hopeful for the future of the Cambodian woman. We are, we sending our strength, and we are hopeful that we are grateful for people that strong, like Friday woman, who's out there almost every week, that to show the world, they're not afraid. So that's also the role model for the Cambodian younger generations in Cambodia. So thank you for being here today, all my guests.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you, our audience, for tuning in today. We had a great discussions on women leadership, and basically women, and how we can help women to step up to the plate and sit at the table. It is very important, as I said it, that women need to be able to sit at the table. Women need to prepare herself to be at the table. In order to prepare herself, education is important. Keep your daughter in school, encourage going to school, because that's what that will prepare her to be sitting on that table, giving her voice. And also it is important for a woman, or any woman, to voice their opinion, to voice what they know on those tables. So thank you so much for being here today. Please help to support our petitions, ending impunity for justice in Cambodia. Please help to sign the petitions at change.org. Thank you, and see you next Tuesday.